Assalamu alaikum and welcome. This is Abbas with you and welcome to another episode of Locally Yours. And you must have noticed I've got eye bags or tea bags, or in short, I haven't slept well. But I couldn't miss this episode because on Locally Yours, we've had businessmen and women, we've had athletes, and we've also had professional fighters. And today we have another fighter with us today. But the only difference, generally, a professional fighter fights against an opponent, right? Well, today's fighter, she fought this fight against herself. And the surprising part, well, she came out victorious. Well, give it up for the one and only Afnan. Afnan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course, I did not mention that you're a cancer survivor yet. And I would like to mention that right now, right off the bat, before we start our conversation. So, welcome and also well done.
Thank you.
So before we kick off, tell me about yourself, Afnan. Of course, we'll get to the questions, but in short, what is Afnan? What does Afnan do? And what does Afnan like and dislike? Dislike, I know number one is right here, but then what other stuff? You're supposed to say no to that, by the way.
I mean, I am a girl.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So my name is Afnan Rawahi. I am 24 years old and I study in psychology major of bachelor's. I am nearly there to graduating, inshallah. Just pray for me, man. I'm trying to get there fast.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of gaming and like watching anime and nature and like I balance between digital and real life.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
And okay.
And I like arts and crafts and stuff.
Wow, that's a lot of things, I mean, that you do in life. But one thing that you did was beat cancer, right? I'm guessing that must be one of your biggest achievements, right? And it must have been a lot of hard work, mentally, physically. So let's start from the beginning, right? Before the diagnosis. What did you go through? What sort of symptoms did you go through? And what made you go to the doctor to get it checked?
Well, at the time I was like 12 years old. I just came back from Australia. We lived there for 2 years.
Down under.
Yeah, Aussie.
Yeah.
So we lived there for 2 years. I unfortunately lost my Australian accent over time when I came here.
No worry, mate. I'm just ruining it now. Please go ahead.
No worries. I wish I could mimic some of Australian accents, but I will sound silly. So we just came back from Australia, and it was an awkward time because at the time in Australia, they normally finish the school year by December, in Oman it's the middle of the school year, which is like end of second semester or something like that at the time. And in Oman, this changes like every few years because of Ramadan, obviously. But you know, at the time, it was almost the end of the semester holidays and starting the new semester in school. So it was a little awkward because we didn't know whether I start as the previous year or the new year. But then we just moved with the flow depending on my age range and stuff, like kids my age, where they're at the moment.
Right.
So I went to this school called Injaz. It's in Al-Ansab, and shortly after I started, I've been having weird experiences. Just to recap, as a child, I loved outdoor stuff. I was very active. I was like very energetic child. I loved doing sports and physical activities in general. But that year or that semester, it was off because I was feeling weak every single day.
Right.
My body hurt. I've got random sparks of fevers that happen suddenly and then goes away. No way to predict it, whether it starts or ends.
Right, there was no pattern. Like, okay, the weather changes, yeah, fine, you're falling sick. Understandable. It was just like you said, like random sparks of fever just coming in and
Yeah.
leaving your body. All right.
Randomly physical pain, like I'm talking like I can't move pain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and all over my body, like I'm just in bed, like
Terrible.
frozen. And I had like weird dots all over my body. It's like people would think I'm describing acne, but no, it's like the same as your skin, and it's like a brownish color all over your body. And I had it mostly under my eye,
Right.
which is so abnormal because it wasn't irritating or anything. It looked like what's it called? Those little things that people have on their faces.
Freckles.
Freckles.
Right.
It looks exactly like freckles, but all over my body.
And it's kind of hard to, narrow it down to like cancer, because I had similar, symptoms when I was suffering from chickenpox. Right? I got my chickenpox when I was, or I got not my chickenpox, but I got chickenpox when I was 26. So it was pretty difficult. And I had like an incubation period of 2 weeks where I had like random sparks of fever coming in and leaving my body. I didn't have any, I didn't see any marking on my body apart from this one pimple that popped up after 2 weeks when I went to the doctor. He was like, oh, you got chickenpox. Yeah, that's why you weren't feeling hungry. So, like a lot of diseases out there, they have similar symptoms. So you tend to like just think that, okay, it might be something. I'll wait it out. Right, please go ahead.
No problem. So then my mom was like, okay, this is not her normal behavior or whatever. And she took me to the local clinics. We call them Markaz Sahi.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Here. So it's like easy instead of like a big hospital to get those small things figured out. And they were like doing physical examinations, and they were like, everything is fine. And my mom was like, no, just try to check her blood work first, because I don't think everything is fine. Like, she's like feeling uneasy.
Mommy knows
about it.
best, of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
So we got the blood work, and from how much it was abnormal, the hospital that we were at the time, they believed that their like lab machinery was acting off or broken. From how abnormal the results were, they believed that it was at their expense, not because of my actual result.
Right.
So they were like, this is really weird. You should go to the Royal Hospital. Our machinery is acting weird.
No way.
Yeah.
Like they didn't trust the results. They didn't do a retest?
They were like, yeah, it's so abnormal. There is no way this is your result.
Right, okay.
They were like, this is on us. There is no way this is your blood work.
And then you went to the Royal Hospital.
Yeah, we went there. Like, we actually went home first. My mom was like, let's have lunch and
Right.
take some like naps and whatever. Then we go there because she knows how crowded it is there, and like uncomfortable it is there. So we wanted to mentally prepare. So we went there at around 6 p.m. and my grandma at the time was like, hey, aren't they taking too long in the hospital? Because we were there until like 12 a.m.
For 6 hours?
Yeah, because the hospital were like double and triple checking my results before officially diagnosing something as extreme as cancer. So my grandma was really worried. She kept on calling, and there was no services in the emergency room in Royal Hospital at the time. So she couldn't reach us, and she had to call some of my aunties and uncles to go there and check on us. The time that they reached at the hospital is the most ironic time. It's when my mom was taken aside and was told about my blood results and what it really meant. So my mom at the time was super tired, and because of what she heard, she got like a burst of anxiety that she started feeling nauseous. Because in her head, she was thinking, my daughter is dying. My daughter is
I
dying.
can imagine it must have been very difficult for her as well.
Yeah. I was 12 years old at the time, so
Right,
obviously,
so basically she took the emotional brunt.
Yeah.
You know, the whole cake, not a slice, you know.
Yeah.
And so these were the symptoms that kicked in for you: skin rashes, you know, feeling weak, fever coming in randomly with no set pattern. You know, the way generally people get fever, like we mentioned before, like when the season changes, or maybe they did something that they can trace back and be like, hey, you know what, that's why I'm sick now. Okay, fine, I'm gonna fix myself.
Or school viruses or something.
And then how did you take the symptom? Sorry, let me rephrase it. So tell me, how did you take the diagnosis? Like, how did your mom or your parents break it to you that, hey, Afnan, look, you're sick now. You need to work towards the road of recovery and you need to do this. But then how did it impact you emotionally and physically?
You know, this is a funny story here I'm about to share.
I'm glad you're laughing about it. I'm glad you're so strong that you can laugh about it. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's so good to see this.
Honestly, I even told some of my friends this part of the story and they were laughing with me because it was kind of funny. Some of them were kind of upset of how I found out because they didn't feel like it was appropriate for a child to find out like
Okay.
this. But to me, it's just a funny story. So basically, soon after I was diagnosed and told by my mother, the doctor told my mother, I was rushed immediately to the ICU. And in my head at the time, I was like, wait, I'm not going to school tomorrow?
No way. Seriously, as a 12-year-old, that's what was going in your
Yeah,
head?
I was like, I'm not going to school tomorrow. What? I was like, yeah. I was like, heck yeah, like, I'm not going to school.
That is funny.
Yeah, that's not the funniest part yet. Like, we're getting there.
Okay, I'm waiting.
So, when I reached the ICU, I was in the isolated room. And my mom and my auntie at the time, who was consulting my mom when she was feeling down and stuff, like I said, ironically, at the same time that they arrived. So my auntie, my uncle, my auntie's husband, and my mom was there behind the glass looking at me, and I'm like really confused. But at the same time, I was excited because I'm not going to school.
School, exactly.
So the doctor who was there, like, monitoring me at the time, at the start, she was like just telling me what I'm expecting in that room specifically. Okay.
And like you said, in your head, you didn't understand the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I've been diagnosed with something. I'm in the ICU because you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
So you're just like, no school, I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. And I
Okay.
didn't think it was that serious. Even though I saw my mom crying, but I thought she was just dramatic. I didn't think
Come on.
it was serious at all. All I could think is, if my mom's crying, that means I'm not going to school.
Gotcha.
So I hated school at the time so much. Anyway, so the doctor was explaining to me what I'm expecting. She said, you're not gonna go to the bathroom anymore. You're just gonna use this metal stool thingy. We're gonna put you some wires here
Right.
to monitor your heartbeat. She was just giving me vague information. And then next thing I know, when I was in that ICU, I was just like having these weird times where I'm awake and asleep because I had so much sleeping drugs on me because they randomly put like small surgeries on me. But then one time there was this nurse, and I'm not gonna specify about her. All I can say is that she was really rude and she wasn't considerate to the patients, especially children. So she just told me, I was telling her, when can I go home and stuff? Why can't I see my mom? And she's like, oh, you're not gonna be home in a long time. You have cancer.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So she's like telling me the diagnosis when I was there, when I was like not myself either. Like I was like on and off, awake
Hold up,
and
are
asleep.
they even allowed to like tell the children there that you have this disease? Like,
I don't
are you
think
serious?
so.
Like, she just straight up just threw this at you that
Yeah.
you're not going home for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
She was rude, and
No
also
way.
like she wasn't like when I needed help, because like I was obviously tired.
Mm-hmm.
She would purposely ignore me or pretend that she didn't hear me, and when she did like come up to me to see what's wrong, she would be rough on me. So I really don't like
Oh,
this
no.
nurse. Yeah, she was
No,
rude.
that sounds scary. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, you're not yourself, you're not in your senses, you know something's wrong. I mean, even though you didn't understand the gravity of the situation, like I mentioned before, you at least had an idea that something is off, right? You're
Yeah.
12 years old, so I mean, you can understand the situation a bit, even
Yeah.
if no one told you what you're going through right now.
Exactly.
And then you have this nurse taking care of you. That sounds horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
So when I left the what's it called, the ICU, she wasn't there obviously anymore. But I left that room approximately almost a month after I was there, almost. So I was taken to a isolated room, not an ICU. It was in the ward. And a few weeks later, my mom tried to break the news to me, not knowing that I already knew. And I was like, I already know. She's like, how did you know? I was like, the nurse in the ICU told me.
And were you like scared? Like, what was going through your mind at that time? Let's backtrack and talk about when the nurse told you that you're not going to be leaving this room for a while. I mean, that on its own is scary, right?
I was too numb to have thoughts, because I was, like I said, really on and off. I was like awake and asleep, because I had so much drugged on me, because I had like minor surgeries happening in the ICU, like, you know, the tube thingies and like another tube here and other things. So they had to like make sure that when that happens, I'm totally asleep.
Right.
So
And how was your road to recovery? When did you get the news that you beat cancer? Like, you know, you have recovered. And also, if you can, while we're at it, if you can mention the sort of support system you had around you, from family, friends, random people, it doesn't matter. So, you know, if you can elaborate on that as well, because I want to know what sort of support system you need when you're going through, you know, a disease like cancer.
So when I fully comprehended, you know, when my mom was telling me about the fact that I had news, the only two things I had in mind was I'm not going to school in a while, and the only thing that worried me was me losing my hair, because I loved my hair a lot. And people who know me growing up would know why. But I loved my hair so much, I just cried about losing it. That's the only thing I cried about.
It must have been hard. Of course, it must have been
Just
hard.
losing my hair.
Right.
But like the whole treatment experience, I was like positive. I didn't make like any fits. The doctors loved me. Like I had supports from the hospital to my family, because the hospital staff were really kind to me, and I was a social child. Like I talked to everybody, and I tried to.
Well, I
make-
just on that note, I want to give a shout out to all the medical workers out there. You know, in the medical field, it doesn't matter what you do, you still contribute, and thank you for your service. Apart from that one nurse who was rude to you, not you.
So I got like a lot of support system from the hospital and at home, and the staff were really kind to me. Like I'd randomly get gifts from the nurses themselves. Some of them were handmade too, which is really kind.
And this is exactly what I expect from people working with children who are suffering from cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Or any sort of disease that can, like, you know, have an impact on you mentally and physically. Something, you know, above the grade of getting normal fever or, you know, stuff like that. Even then, you're supposed to be kind to them. But when you know a child is suffering from something that they might or might not recover from, like, God forbid if they don't recover from it, at least the least you can do is be kind to them. So that's like the topmost criteria, at least in my head when I think about it. So that's why when you told me about the nurse being rude to you, I was like, okay, you can have a bad day every now and then. I can understand that. Yes, we're humans in the end. But like, you can be rude, but then breaking the news to a child who doesn't know that they have it, especially when their families kept it as a secret, like they need their time to break it to the child. Why did you overstep that line? So I'm just a little upset just thinking about the whole scenario.
Exactly.
But yeah, like you said, like the medical staff that you work with on your road to recovery, they used to get you gifts, handmade.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I expect. Like that's so sweet. That's so nice of them to do that.
It's like what I said before. The people I told the story had two different feelings. Either they found it funny or they felt offended that this even happened to a child. So anyway, to this day I have really good relationship with the nurses that I was treated there in the hospital. Whenever
That's really sweet.
Yeah, whenever I visit the Royal Hospital, I'd stop by and say hi to them.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, they're really kind, and I will never forget everything they've done. Truly.
Thank you. Okay. Coming to the point where you beat cancer now, right? We went through the symptoms, the diagnosis, the road to recovery, the kind of support system you need. When did they tell you that you beat cancer, and how did it feel? I mean, first I asked you the question, how did it feel when you were told that you have cancer, and then of course the time when you were told that you beat cancer? It must have felt great, right? I want your take on that, of course.
So you would expect like they would make this little like a little heads up with an exciting news or something, right? No,
Yes.
It was super casual, man. It was super casual. So prior to that, like I was under huge treatment for like a year, and then the second year it reduced to like once every few weeks, then once a month, until the time where it reached to like once a month specifically, if I'm not wrong with my recollection. So once I reached to that point, I knew that my treatment was ending soon. Because I was old enough to know things going on. Because like I said,
How long did you suffer from cancer? Like how long did it take you?
the treatment for girls is, by the way, I had leukemia specifically. So
Okay.
every cancer diagnosis is different than
Right,
the other.
right.
So for girls, it was 2 years worth of treatment, and for boys, it's 3 years worth of treatment. And don't ask why, I have no like scientific explanation.
Right. We're no doctors, but I mean, whatever info you can,
Yeah.
give me, I'm gonna take it, because
Yeah.
who knows where it comes in handy.
All I'm gonna say, women's bodies are different than men's.
Right.
So-
And any change in diet or like a lifestyle? Because of course, when you're going through cancer, you have to make certain changes in your lifestyle, right? It does impact you mentally and physically. Good on you that you were young, your body could recover, and also mentally you were very strong because you approached it in a way where you're like, I just don't have to go to school, and that
Yeah.
happiness probably kept you going.
And I just had like a positive energy child in general. I tried not to.
Mashallah to that, yeah.
Yeah, I tried not to be like negative, and like I was the kind of child who's saying it is what it is, but like I'd say like not in English, I'd be saying like things like كل شيء مكتوب and stuff like that.
Like everything is written, and
Yeah, I came
it's-
from a religious family, so
Right.
it makes sense. And my uncles and aunts and my mother and everybody was telling me that, Afnan, don't worry, this is what God wanted, and like every child who experiences this has a seat in heaven, kind of positive energy.
Yep,
They're
yep.
bringing like God and positive energies in one. So like it was a good thing to say to a child, like and that everything's gonna be fine, and you have our support. And my uncles and aunts were making sure that they give me the food that I like when I'm in the hospital, for example.
Right.
My uncles would bring my favorite fruits, my aunt would bring my favorite meal.
Right. That's
So-
very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming like you're really close to your uncles and your aunties, right?
Yeah. I love my family. They're always
Alhamdulillah.
supportive.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, like I said, when you're suffering through cancer, from what I know, from what I've seen, you need a strong support system, because one of my aunts suffered from stomach cancer and unfortunately she couldn't survive. And seeing her, I was pretty young. I think I was around 11 or 10 when she went through cancer, and then I could see my mom being very upset about the whole situation. And from what I remember, that my aunt was positive through and through until the last day. She was smiling and she was telling my mom not to worry, and God has a plan. And she had a child, as a matter of fact, and she was like, I'm not worried about him. God has a plan for him as well. And I think that's the sort of positivity you need to instill in yourself. Like, yes, others will come to help you, but you need to help yourself first. And it's easier said than done. I'm not saying it's easy to do that. Of course, when you get, I'm very sure if you weren't like lost in this trance of like not going to school, right? And if your brain could comprehend, and which I'm assuming you did after you grew up, after your treatment, you knew that, yes, this is something different that's happening to me, right?
Exactly.
But you kept the positivity on, and I think that's what helps you in life. Like, it doesn't matter if you're suffering through cancer or any other sort of disease.
Yeah.
But good on you, Afnan. I'm like so proud of you. I mean, it must have been hard, but here you are sitting with us, talking to us, smiling, telling us that, it's I just went with it. I just rode the wave. Positivity, of course, you need that in such situations, and I think that's what carries you through your support system, through nice people around you who keep giving you positivity. Environment, exactly. And I don't know, I was like, environment, like I just lost. So I'm really excited, that's why. So tell me, we were talking about you getting to know or knowing that you beat cancer. So I want to hear that.
So like I said, it was super casual. I was on my regular old treatment, monthly treatment. And every time you're done with your treatment, actually, before you begin your treatment, after your blood work, first they always check your blood work and your temperature, your blood pressure, making sure that before you take the chemotherapy, your body's prepared for the impact.
And while you're going through this treatment, do you still keep getting fever and not being able to eat and all that stuff?
No, that's actually a red flag before you take any chemotherapy. You cannot have a fever and you cannot have a poor diet, or else the chemotherapy might kill you. So your body need to physically prepare.
Right.
That's why they make sure that they do all of those tests before you do. And if a cancer patient, like during their treatments, the 2 years for women and 3 years for men, during this time, if they ever stumble across a fever, it is like super deadly. Like they take it super seriously, that they need to act fast as if you're having like a heart attack or something. They need to make sure.
That's new information. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's super dangerous. So they immediately take the patient to an isolated room and like immediately take strong measures, making sure that the temperature is down. And as much as possible, if the child's experiencing throwing up, for example, the food is not digesting, because food and the fever issue is huge. That's why part of the treatment they give patients like medicine to boost their what's it called?
Immunity?
Not immunity. I'm sorry.
No, it's no.
I forgot the word. The feeling of wanting to eat more.
Hunger?
Like
Appetite.
Yes, increasing their appetite. So basically, they give the patients medicine that makes them have a stronger appetite, and the side effects of that is having big cheeks and a swollen belly. But then the appetite increases the whole other body parts.
Right. Oh, wow.
So I've never went to a weight I've never experienced. I was a very skinny child, so suddenly my family see me like chubby. It was
Right.
new.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sidetracking right now. I'm
No,
sorry about
please.
that.
You're more than welcome to do that on Locally Yours, believe me. We always sidetrack.
So basically, to go back to your question, it was after I got my regular checkups and I got the green light to take my last treatment. The doctor has to see you first, and then to describe your blood work results and stuff, and telling you if you can take the treatment or not. So the doctor needs to tell you that. And after I spoke to the doctor, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be your last."
Oh, wow. And how did you feel at that
You're
moment?
done.
And how did you feel? I mean, someone can tell you in a casual way, but it's your battle. So, how did you feel like hearing that?
Honestly, I wasn't like super stoked. I was
Okay.
like, all right. I was like,
Okay, well, I did it. Alhamdulillah,
Yay.
it's done.
I mean, I saw that one coming.
Yeah, that's the approach. That's the mindset you need, actually.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's because I've been feeling. I was starting to feel some sort of normalcy. I was starting to feel that prior, because like I said, the treatment over time reduces, especially a year after your first treatment. It just gradually reduces. So I saw it coming. Like I knew that one of those days is gonna be my last. So I was like, khalas, I was mentally prepared.
Right.
Yeah, so I was.
And what about now? Let's talk about now, Afnan. You know, how do you feel now? Do you think about it sometimes, or do you think about the time when you were in the ICU or when you were diagnosed? And does it impact your life now in any way? Thinking about it or having that mental block, let's say.
Honestly, no, but it has impacted my diet, sort of. Because you were asking, like, did my diet change and stuff like that. The thing is, the doctors only give you like bare minimum information to what you can and you can't eat during your treatment because of the effect of your like medicine and the chemotherapy. That's it. So they just tell you don't eat spicy food and like make sure that you eat more greens and stuff like that. But they don't really tell you what you should stick with the most and what you should avoid the most. That's my mom. My mom did her own research. Like she learned that any sugary food that is not natural, like fruits and stuff. Fruits is a different story, obviously. It's fine. But I'm talking
Natural
about
sugars, yeah.
I'm talking about junk food.
Candy
and-
bars, sodas, all
and
that other
things
stuff.
like that. Yeah, she found out that sugary foods feeds the cancer cells. So you're feeding it instead of killing it. So my mom was very strict with my diet. She would give me weird things to eat and drink, and I would just oblige because I was an obedient child. I would try my best to please my parents a lot growing up. I'm a firstborn, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I stopped, like during my treatment, I stopped drinking any fizzy drinks. And it became a habit. So for even after I finished treatment, I continued stopping for like 5 years. I stopped drinking fizzy drinks. So whenever I drink it now, like my body physically rejects it.
Yeah,
Like,
I can imagine.
Like I get like a physical reaction. Like my body's like, what is this? This is too much for me.
Right. And that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign, because if your body's used to it, that means you've had whatever you're having right now so much that your body does not treat it as foreign now.
Exactly.
But if your body is rejecting it, then that means somewhere it's a good habit. I mean, in the end, I will never be like, oh really, your body
Yeah.
can't take sodas? Like, wow.
Yeah.
No, it's good for you. Like, good on you.
If you give me this, like a Kinza can this small, like before boycotting, there was a lot of soda cans this small from like Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
like Pepsi and stuff. Like these small little cans,
Yeah.
I couldn't finish those.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I could not finish those. Like I couldn't even reach half because it's too much. is too much for me. My mom was very strict to what I was eating and drinking, which is good. I feel like it impacted my health a lot. If it wasn't for her, I don't know what would have changed.
What's the mommy's name?
Selma.
Selma? Selma, salute to you from Abbas. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna watch this. She's gonna watch this, right?
Most probably, yeah.
Miss Selma, I salute you for doing what you did. I mean, mothers, man. Salute to
they're
all the mothers
mothers.
out there, yeah.
Yeah, mothers.
Working hard, making sure their children, even my own mother, salam to you as well. I mean, she's
Yeah.
gonna see me at home now and scream at me, so I'm just waiting for that. But at least to your mom, salam. And
Yeah.
Afnan, do you have a message for someone who is fighting cancer right now, watching this, right? Any sort of cancer, and not only cancer, but any sort of disease that's life-threatening, or let's say that impacts them mentally and physically on a daily basis. So, I would like to hear it from you, who's beat cancer. You've come out victorious, and listening to your story, it makes you feel like that, hey, all you need is positivity and a good support system, and just be logical.
Yeah.
Just eat the right stuff, just do the right things for your health, and you can lead a healthy life. So I want to hear it from your end. Right down in that camera, on that camera, wherever you prefer.
So, the saying, your body is a temple. So treat it as such. Treat your body and your mind the way that you find it healthy. Like, do not feed your thoughts and your body negative or harmful things. Physical diet affects your mental health. Mental health affects your whole physical effects, like whether you stay healthy or not. Like, trust me, as a psychology student, I have found out that mental health can link to cancer. So you need to make sure that your mental health is as healthy as your physical health. Your diet affects your mental health as well. So research whatever you're diagnosed with, research the things that you should focus on eating and things that you should avoid eating. I cannot be the person who tells you what you should and should not eat, because I'm not a professional dietary doctor.
Dietitian or
Yeah,
or
so
dietary doctor. Let's call them dietary doctors.
If you don't want to do your own research, just go to a doctor specified for that.
Right.
And make sure that you do any form of exercise, even small exercises like taking walks in the beach. These affects your mental health. Your mental health affects your body. So if you want to be healthy, make sure your mental health is as healthy. So that's my advice.
Well, thank you so much, Afnan, for not just for giving this a very smart advice, I would say, but also sharing your personal story with us, the whole journey from the start till the end, from you getting diagnosed with cancer to beating it. And I'm really glad, I'm really happy that I'm sitting with you over here, in the studio, and I'm looking at you and you're smiling, you're happy, mashallah. It gives not just me, but a lot of people watching this episode the encouragement to fight whatever they're fighting. Right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, someone might be watching this episode and you might have a financial problem right now. But looking at your story, you just go like, hey, you know what? If I have a healthy body and a healthy mind, and I'm walking and I'm talking and I'm breathing, that's more than enough. I can beat any problem that comes my way in the future, or whatever I'm fighting in the present. So thank you so much for sharing this story with us.
Problem.
And I hope you keep living a healthy life, inshallah. Not just you, but everyone watching this episode, as well as me. I mean, pray for me as well. I mean, I don't want to be left out, guys.
So, this topic is not sensitive. A lot of people would think I'd be sensitive talking about this topic, but no, I'm actually open to talk about it.
And I'm so happy that you did that on Locally Yours.
Yeah.
And if you have a story to share, if you have a personal experience, it could be yourself or it could be someone that you know, then you can, of course, share your story in the comments below. Let us know, and share your information. By your information, I mean your story, your experiences, so then people can relate, and we can spread more positivity all around. Like this white table. I really like this white table, by the way. Afnan, I won't delay you. I know you have a busy schedule, so thank you so much once again. Take care. And you there, take care of yourself. This is Abbas signing off, and I will see you in the next one.